Today I'll be looking at 10 retirement facts that will change how you save. In helping clients navigate retirement, I've found that these facts will drastically shift how people approach retirement once they learn about them. In the end, my goal is that you'll have every piece of information that you need to strengthen your plan and secure your retirement goals. Let's get right into it. Retirement advice can often be overwhelming and contradictory. In this video, I'll share 10 evidence-based insights that reveal why some retirees thrive and others face unexpected challenges no matter how much they save. Each point is grounded in real-world experience and research. And the final one might surprise you. It's an issue that I've rarely heard other advisors mention, yet I've seen it quietly derail more than one couple's retirement. Let's dive in and bring some clarity to what actually drives retirement success. Fact number 1. Most retirees underestimate how much they'll spend in retirement, by as much as 25%. Now that's a big gap, and it can lead to serious shortfalls down the road in your retirement. Many people assume expenses will automatically drop when they stop working, but the reality is that travel and hobbies, home projects, and healthcare costs can often keep spending high, especially in your first decade of retirement. To avoid running out of money, it's crucial to build a detailed retirement budget. Track your spending early on, and then stress test your plan for any unexpected costs. Number 2, many people assume that Social Security will cover most of their retirement expenses. But in reality, this is quite different. On average, Social Security only replaces 30% of our pre-retirement income, leaving a significant gap that must be filled by either personal savings or other income sources. This means if you're living on $100,000 a year today, Social Security might only provide $30,000 in your retirement. The rest needs to come from your investment portfolio or other retirement plans. 30% is a pretty low number, and if that number is true for you, then your portfolio is going to need to do the heavy lifting to provide you the monthly income that you need. Fact number 3, retirement is lasting much longer than it used to, and the longer than most people actually expect it to live. Thanks to advances in healthcare and better living conditions, it is not uncommon for retirements to span 25 or even 30 years or more. That means if you retire at 65, you could easily live into your 90s. Planning for a few decades of retirement isn't just wise, it's necessary. Increasing longevity means that your asset allocation must be optimized. You cannot afford to get low returns in your portfolio. Your withdrawal strategy has to be dynamic, because drawing down the value of your assets early in your retirement will cause a great amount of stress and anxiety later on. I currently have a client that is 102 years old. Now, he retired later in life, but imagine retiring in your 50s and living that long. A close to 50-year retirement requires very careful planning, and success is not going to happen by accident. Before I move on, if at any point you feel like you haven't considered some of this info in your own plan, click the first link in the description and fill out a short questionnaire. After, I'll send you a video going over exactly what you need to do to get your plan back on track. Now on to the next point. Fact number 4, inflation can be especially problematic in retirement because it erodes the purchasing power of a fixed income over time. Here's an example. Say a retiree is living on $80,000 a year, and they might feel financially secure today. But if inflation averages just 3% annually, that $80,000 will have the buying power of just $59,000 10 years from now. This gradual loss in value means that the cost of essentials like groceries, healthcare, and housing could outpace the growth of their income, putting pressure on their lifestyle and long-term financial stability. Without proper planning and investment strategies that account for inflation, retirees risk falling short in the later years of retirement when expenses will often rise. Number 5, healthcare costs in retirement are much higher than people expect. The average health insurance premium for a couple in their 50s varies based upon factors such as location, plan type, and coverage level. But according to recent data in 2023, a 50-year-old individual paid an average monthly premium of approximately $766 for an Affordable Care Act marketplace plan. For a couple where both partners are 50, this would amount to a combined monthly premium of just over $1,500 or just over $18,000 per year. If you plan to retire early before you qualify for Medicare at 65, then you will need to purchase insurance coverage to fill that gap. The premiums I quoted earlier will rise substantially once you get into your 60s. Number 6, traditional pension plans are largely extinct. If you're one of the lucky ones whose job still offers a traditional pension, congrats. They are a huge asset in retirement because they lower the burden on your investable assets to provide you income. Traditional pensions have largely been replaced by 401k plans because the expense burden on companies is way less. Even though most pensions are gone, you can create your own fixed sources of income aside from Social Security. I have many clients who do this through rental properties, both long-term rentals and short-term rentals. The rise of alternative forms of financing in the United States has opened up a wide variety of options for people to have easy access to the rental market. DSCR loans are a prime example. It stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio, and the financing you get is based on the rental income of the property, not your personal income or the amount of debt you carry personally. Number 7, a diversified portfolio is crucial for retirement success because it reduces risk and enhances the probability of sustaining your income through retirement. According to historical market analysis by Fidelity, a well-diversified portfolio combining stocks, bonds, and cash maintain withdrawal strategies successfully in over 90% of scenarios across a 30-year retirement. On the other hand, retirees heavily concentrated in one asset class, such as just stocks or just bonds, experience much higher volatility, leading to increases in stress and potentially forcing them to sell investments at unfavorable times. By spreading investments across multiple asset types and geographical regions, diversification helps smooth out market fluctuations and protect against losses, ensuring your retirement savings remain resilient and dependable over the long term. Now, I see a lot of clients who start working with my firm who have large positions in single stocks. They've held the stock for a long time and have built up significant long-term capital gains. But early in retirement can be a great time to begin trimming that position at little to no cost in capital gains taxes. As your income drops in retirement, married couples with income less than $96,000 don't pay any capital gains taxes. This is a huge tailwind to diversifying your portfolio without having to pay a significant amount in taxes. Number 8, planning for long-term care is essential because nearly 70% of people over age 65 will require some form of long-term care during their lifetime. This care, whether provided at home, in assisted living, or in a nursing home, can be extremely costly, averaging over $100,000 a year for a private room in a nursing home, according to a cost of care survey recently conducted. Without proper planning, these expenses can quickly deplete retirement savings, significantly impacting the retiree's financial security and their independence. Planning ahead for long-term care expenses, either through insurance, dedicated savings, or other strategies, helps ensure that retirees will receive quality care without compromising their family's finances or leaving loved ones burdened by unexpected costs. Number 9, taxes can take a bigger bite out of your retirement income than many retirees realize, potentially forcing you to cut back on your lifestyle during retirement. Imagine this, you've planned to withdraw $100,000 each year from your IRA to fund your dreams. You want to travel, you want to spoil your grandkids, and even enjoy your hobbies. However, after paying federal and state taxes on that $100,000, you may only be left with $75,000 to $80,000 to spend. That unexpected reduction means scaling back on the things that matter most to you in retirement. Without proactive tax planning, such as strategic withdrawals, Roth conversions, or maintaining tax-efficient investments, you can minimize this tax impact, keeping more of your hard-earned savings and preserving your desired lifestyle throughout your retirement. Now on to the last one, and I teased this in the beginning because it might raise some eyebrows. This is number 10. Adult children can become an unexpected and significant expense in retirement, catching many retirees off guard. Even with careful planning for your own expenses, it's common to face situations where your grown children will need financial assistance, whether due to job losses, divorce, student debt, or simply the rising cost of living. Supporting adult children financially can quickly erode your retirement savings, jeopardizing your own financial stability and independence. To avoid these setbacks, it's important to have candid conversations early on and set clear boundaries and factor potential family obligations into your retirement plan, ensuring that you can help loved ones without risking financial security in your retirement. Some of these situations can be particularly devastating. I have a current client who's withdrawn a significant amount of their assets to support a grown child going through a particularly nasty divorce. This has now caused them to begin liquidating land holdings that they'd hoped to save for later on in their retirement. Sadly, this situation is more common than most people realize. And the key issue that I see is that parents love their kids, and some have a very difficult time telling them no. Sometimes no is the best answer for everybody involved, but I also realize that sometimes it's not. And helping one of your adult children might be your best option. The takeaway here is that if you look into the future and you make a realistic analysis of your children and know at some point you are likely to assist them financially, then let's plan for it so that you and I aren't caught off guard at some point in your retirement. These 10 facts reveal something profound about retirement planning that most financial advisors and media completely miss. Understanding these truths can be the difference between confidence and anxiety in your retirement. Most people think of retirement as a simple transition from working to relaxing. But the reality is it's far more complex and way more urgent. As we uncover the surprising truths about Social Security shortfalls, underestimated spending, rising healthcare costs, and the hidden costs of longevity and taxes, it becomes clear. The old rules of retirement simply don't apply anymore. These facts point to a massive paradigm shift in how we must plan for the next chapter of your life. I'm going to explore what that shift looks like and how you can take control, adapt with confidence, and build a retirement strategy designed for today's realities, not yesterday's assumptions. The reality of retirement planning is that true success isn't defined by hitting a specific savings number. It's defined by sustainability of your lifestyle over time. When you move beyond chasing some arbitrary financial target and instead focus on designing a plan that supports the way you want to live, your entire approach to retirement will shift. I call this a sustainability framework, a strategic reversal of the traditional model. Rather than letting savings goals dictate your retirement decisions, this framework puts your desired lifestyle at the center, ensuring that your financial plan is purpose-built to support the life that you want to live. This sustainability framework completely transforms how you approach retirement planning, but implementing it requires specific steps that differ dramatically from conventional advice. Let me show you the exact process my most successful clients use to apply these principles in their own retirement planning. In my opinion, everything in planning starts with goals. Before we start talking about budgets and taxes and withdrawal rates, we need to start with your goals. What life do you want to live? And just as important, when do you want to start living it? I cannot create a plan without the guiding light of your goals. I really encourage people to dream in this step, because if I don't know all those things you've been hoping to do in retirement, there's no way that I can help you make them happen. If you want a vacation home, great, let's talk about it. You want to spend a month in Europe every year? Okay, let's put it into your plan and see if we can make it work. The most important thing is in this step, don't hold back, even if you think your desires are impossible. After we define your goals, we can start by gathering your fixed sources of income from Social Security, pensions, annuities, or any rental income you have. I view these as the rock we're going to use as the foundation to build your plan on. Second, we lay out all your monthly retirement expenses. We can easily gather these by linking your bank account to our planning software, Right Capital. After importing everything, we can easily categorize your spending, adding in anything we missed or subtracting out one-time items that won't be needed in the future. This is the best way to estimate spending and avoid the pitfall of drastically underestimating the amount of income that your portfolio will need to generate. Included in these expenses are additional healthcare costs you might incur because of private insurance you might need to purchase or any Medicare premiums that you'll need to pay. In addition, this is where you'll need to decide how to handle long-term care, whether to pursue insurance or self-fund, and how long to prepare for that sort of care. It's impossible to predict, but planning for at least a couple of years is a prudent process. If you choose to self-fund, you'll need to make sure you have cash available, or another important point to remember is that many people plan to sell their house to fund this care at the end of their plan. Also, depending upon what type of care you want, assisted living, nursing home, or in-home care, the expenses can vary dramatically, and we just have to make the choice so we can include it in your plan. One of the main reasons that retirement expenses are underestimated is because people leave out taxes. Taxes can rise dramatically in your mid-70s once required minimum distributions are kicking in your IRA or your 401k. These can be dramatically reduced by doing some retirement planning and Roth conversions early on. I always run scenario analysis with new clients so we can decide if and how much of a conversion to do into a Roth. Whether conversions make sense is determined by your income level and how long it takes to break even on the taxes that you have to pay. With your goals and expenses laid out, we can do what I believe is the most important part of this whole process. Optimize your portfolio to meet your income needs. Your portfolio should be built based on needs, not some random risk questionnaire that your advisor's given you. Portfolio construction is the single most important aspect of beating inflation in the long term and ensuring that your lifestyle can be maintained for the entirety of your retirement. This is the most misunderstood part of retirement. It's highly unlikely that your portfolio allocation will remain stagnant. Opportunities will be presented along the way, and flexibility must be maintained in order to take advantage of those opportunities. For instance, cheap stocks should be taken advantage of, and expensive ones should be rotated out of and replaced. A great way to get bad results in investing is to always operate from the assumption that everything's the same. The world doesn't work that way, and neither should your investments. I often find that the difference between meeting your goals and having to scale back expectations is how your assets are invested, and I cannot overstate its importance enough. I sincerely hope that these 10 facts about saving and planning for retirement have given you some practical ways to strengthen your own plan. However, it's important to understand what I covered today only scratches the surface of ways to prepare for retirement. And truthfully, once you understand your exact situation, the ability to optimize your plan for a high success rate drastically increases. So if you want to know exactly what your plan needs, click the first link in the description to fill out a complimentary questionnaire. Afterward, I'll send you a personalized video breaking down the areas of opportunity and how to properly fix them. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.